Treaty or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, Icsan, the hub of governance professionals.
Many thanks for joining your favorite program on TV, Corporate Governance Platform. Proudly brought to you by the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, Icsan, governance professionals. I am Tunde Odeyemi, and in today's episode, our matters arising is to look at the Icsan year 2022 Governance Practitioners Day. We want to look at the essence of the Icsan year 2022 Governance Practitioners Day. And to lead in the conversation is a very distinguished fellow of the Institute of Icsan, Mrs. OLEKANMA EKELEME, FCIS. Mrs. EKELEME is a serial entrepreneur whose passion for providing creative solutions has backed thriving businesses. She is a fellow of Icsan and a strong advocate of corporate governance, an IFC certified trainer on corporate governance and an excellent professional. She is also a certified coach, speaker, teacher, and trainer with the John Maxwell team. She is passionate to help small and medium enterprises build replicable, seamless structures for business sustainability and profitability, and help young people identify their purpose, inspire them to live in their purpose, and impart their world. As the Executive Director, Chief Operating Officer of Madil Associates Limited, she provides leadership, management, and vision necessary to ensure the company has proper operational control and administrative reporting procedures and people systems in place to effectively grow the organization and to ensure financial strength of and operating efficiency. As a John Maxwell team member involved in leadership and business training, she prepares training calendar and facilitates both in-house and scheduled training for individuals and organizations. Mrs. EKELEME is a mother, Jesus lover, and unstoppable woman. She is a limiting belief slayer, raising an army of super achievers, and she is a writer who has authored and published about 3 books. Mrs. EKELEME, it's nice to have you on Corporate Governance Platform this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Good evening, viewers.
Okay, we are going to be discussing the Icsan 2022 Governance Practitioners Day. But before we go into that discussion, I would like to show our viewers the launch of the Icsan Practitioners Day, where we have just a short clips of the launch of that program, so that you can be abreast with what we are going to discuss in today's episode. We have the launch of the program, where we have the Executive Secretary of Financial Reporting Council, Ambassador Shaibu Adamu Ahmed, as the keynote speaker. Another keynote speaker at the program is the Registrar General of Corporate Affairs Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar. And at the panelist discussion, we have the moderator, Mrs. Temitope Azan, FCIS. And later on, what we are going to show you on the video is the unveiling of the stamp and seal of practice license, and this was honorably performed by the President and Chairman in Council of Icsan, Mr. Taiwo Owo Kalade. Please relax, sit down, and enjoy the video. And when we come back, we go into asking some few questions from our guests in the studio. I look forward to connecting with you. Please relax and enjoy the video.
Put us on standby on his behalf. Reading out what ordinarily would have come come from him. Also permit me once in a while to make some speaking because of the time that I believe I've allocated to this program. So, this is the way to go. The theme that have been set by both the president of the institute, the chairman of the occasion, is the theme that we would say is timely, because each day we consider issues around issues that have to do with, as someone mentioned, going concern. And of course, the issue of governance becomes very key. So as a starting, one would want to consider what, because of the theme that we have having to do with practical steps to boosting relationship with regulators by governance practitioners, I think it will only be appropriate to start by trying as much as possible to get an understanding of governance itself. And we have said generally that governance refers to defined patterns of rules, controls, and administration of one group over the other. Of course, that applies to several other things that fall under that remit. And that is why at the international scene you have a body that is in charge of governance at that global level. And of course, at the national level, we also have people that are in charge of governance issues directly. And of course, the one that is very popular, which of course falls under the remit of the Financial Reporting Council, is the corporate governance.
What should I be doing to make your work easy so that you can realize your objectives? Council members, esteemed discussants. It's good. I'm also, let me just mention that Mr. Lawley is here. I'm also a member of the Governance Practitioners Committee. That's even though I'm not, you understand this, I'm not too active for reasons that you all know. But I'm proud that today we're launching the practice guide, and we're also launching national seal stand. So we're done with the job. So the general sense is that we know that it's always eager to take such opportunities like this. Unfortunately, it's not able to be here, and that is why this is said my boss, my second boss, Director of Public Affairs, Mr. Chibukaka, should be here, so that if I speak out of time. So, see Alhaji Abubakar Garba from my boss. And by the way, Alhaji is his name is my church. Yes, so that's why it's HR. So when you go to Alhaji, they are not your own. That's actually his name. So what is identifying as the balance? Alhaji. So over Alhaji. Mr. Alhaji, thank you very much. Okay, so the theme of this year's governance is very hard. We're looking at practical steps to boost the relationship with regulators. And it's not that more at a better time like this, particularly since issues of sustainability and corporate governance are become very, very topical. And they are designed to facilitate value for business and for government. There is no saying the fact that an effective relationship with regulators is critical to assuring and maintaining environment for business to further their purposes and regulators to preserve the integrity of the landscape, business landscape. So, who are regulators? Mr. Shawi has done a lot by defining what they are and defining them. So, for me, I will just gloss over that and just say that usually they are government related. I know NGS is some form of regulator too, but SRI and others the regulation of SEC. I see that I'm doing a lot of collaboration while you're here. That's good.
We're front line.
So, regulators are already empowered by the enabling statutes. Usually they have enabling instruments. In the case of CC, for instance, we have the Companies and Allied Matters Act, the SEC, they have the Investment and Securities Act, and the FRCN Act, CBN Act, and all of that. And usually the mandates are contained there, and usually we include registration.
To boost the relationship with regulators. So we're going to be talking about how we're going to practical steps to boost the relationship. And the kind of relationship we have, is it a master-servant relationship? Is it a friend relationship, or what kind of relationship it is? So we'll be talking about that and how it's very important. And then just to recap what we heard from the keynote speakers, from Mr. Titus Asawi. He spoke about, he stressed boosting the relationship, and he talked about compliance with regulation, how important it is, and how we should create structures within our organizations to comply. He talked about how important information technology is and in compliance, and how we should participate in policy making. He spoke about effectively managing our regulators, being interested in policy making, and effectively engaging in all our relevant regulators. So it says that you should start by knowing who your regulators are and engaging them in a collaborative way. And also from Mr. Tolulope Sholaiki, he said he introduced his paper and said that as operators, we need to endear ourselves to the regulators. So we need to make friends with regulators. And he said that we should do this, first of all, by knowing the regulation. And if you know the regulation, and then you'll be able to, you can know your regulator by knowing the regulation and obeying the regulation. And he also talked about the 5 W's and the 1 H. And that's knowing what, knowing who, knowing where, when, where, and knowing how. He said, as governance practitioners, we should be ministers in the temple of regulations. And he urged us all to be true to our calling in the governance.
The NCCG web portal is a new product. To the budget for us tonight. And the main objective is clear. It's for us to ensure that we assist the government in their program or project of business. We believe that will foster the objective. It will reduce cost of filing returns. It will reduce time and effort of filing returns. Before now, we want to submit your reports to FRC's NCCG. You type it out, you send Korea, you come, the officer and they collect it from you, you know they're available, you wait and everything. Those are gone. But we also believe that that portal we have as a repository where researchers can feed on, get information they want to get concerning the country or particular organization. I remember when President Obama came to power, he was going around sourcing for foreign support, foreign investments. And one of the questions they asked him was a particular company of which he couldn't have information about. So he called the minister, and the minister said, which organization should have that responsibility? They said NASB. Then NASB was under ICAN. That was when NASB was pulled out under ICAN and was made government. So we believe with this portal, information should be available for researchers or anybody that wants to tell them.
Yeah, but Mr. Mao, we submit this same report to the NGX. Yes. We submit this same report to the SEC.
Yes.
So why can't you take judicial notes of that report?
Thank you. Before now, each agency has its own requirement for sharing. Now, NCCG has unified that activity. Now we have one NCCG. Now, what FRC is working on right now is also to have
a long day, of this Governance Practitioners Day. Like I said earlier, it's a proud moment for me as a member of the institute. So the practice staff, which other professional bodies also have, like tax practitioners, legal practitioners, we have also started. We're starting today. We expect that our practitioners will also start using this as a symbol of practice. We also expect the regulators to also like council and also the practitioners staff. Mr. President.
Like I said in the morning, today history is being made by the Institute, confronting its fears and not minding to start all over again. We are also happy that we have our regulators in the house. At least we'll be able to go back and tell the world that's the good place, the system that is there. Today, you get to see for yourself that this institute is stamping its feet of authority in this area. And we're doing this. So to the glory of God and service to humanity, represented by our institute, now that you have done this, you must complete and every one of you truly you are a member of this institute. As from tomorrow, let us have your name so that you have this sent to you. It's just a token. But going forward, when we do annual membership payments, obviously it comes with all of this package. So that we just want payments, obviously you have all of those things going forward. Please, the regulators, come and have this as a simple blessing. Okay.
Session.
You're welcome back. It's the corporate governance platform. I hope you enjoyed the video. That was the launch of the Icsan 2022 Governance Practitioners Day. You have the keynote speaker there. He'll be represented by Mr. Titus Osawe. The keynote speaker of that program was Ambassador Shuaibu Adamu Ahmed, the Executive Secretary, Financial Reporting Council. He was able represented by Mr. Titus Osawe at the program. And another key speaker was Alhaji Garba Abubakar, the Registrar General, Corporate Affairs Commission. He was also represented by Tolulope Shonaike. You also saw the unveiling of the stamps and seal of the practice license, which was done by the President and the Chairman in Council of Icsan, Mr. Taiwo Owo Kalade. Now we are back in the studio. We need to go back to our guest in the studio, Mrs. EKELEME, to ask a few questions before we wrap up on today's program. Mrs. EKELEME, you are a governance practitioner.
Yes.
And you just had Governance Practitioners Day. You were part of the program, isn't it?
Yes, I
Okay. What is the whole essence of Icsan 2022 Governance Practitioners Day?
Well, the whole essence of Governance Practitioners Day is to bring professionals together to discuss and brainstorm, share ideas and information concerning governance field, profession. And it's also to discuss trendy issues that relate to the field in governance.
Okay, the topic is practical steps to boosting relationship with regulators. What informed this topic?
You know, an effective relationship with regulators will, with the governance practitioners, will really enhance the productivity, let me put it that way, of both the company they are representing and their clients, for those of us that work with
regulators.
No, that work with other companies.
Okay.
Yes. So in so doing, you'll be able to understand what the regulators want and need and their mind, and be able to guide your organization and the companies aright.
Okay, we also saw some guest speakers and a couple of panelists there. What actually informed these guest speakers and the panelists?
You know, we are talking about regulators. So those facilitators, the guest speakers, the panelists, they are all representatives of the regulators.
Okay.
And so they know what we need to hear or know about what the requirements from the regulators, so as to help our companies, our organizations, and the clients we service.
So it was a fusion of both practitioners and regulators coming together,
yes,
to discuss.
Yes.
Okay, one very specific what I would say very important of vital aspect of this program is the unveiling of the Institute Practice on Regulation, Practice Regulations, and the stamp and seal of the Institute, which was done by the president of the Institute. Can you shed more light on this, and what is the import of that stamp and seal?
Every profession has rules and regulations that guides them.
Okay.
And so Icsan is not an exception.
Okay.
For the stamps and seals, they are like symbols of authentication and credibility.
Okay.
And you know that if I send you a message, a letter without signature, you may not be sure whether it's from me or not.
Okay.
So when the regulators see our documents with the seal and stamp, they know that it is credible, that it comes from us. So it differentiates between the members and non-members. And you know, there are, in every profession, there are quackeries. So
Okay.
it will be a way of sidelining or removing the quacks from the scenario.
Okay, what this means is that every governance practitioner needs to have that stamp and the seal
Exactly.
as part of the documents going out from their own office.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, we understand that there is going to be another Governance Practitioners Day in Uyo in Akwa Ibom State on April 26. What should the participants expect?
Whoa, you know, it will be so educative, so informative, and so insightful. So I will encourage everyone that is in Akwa Ibom, members and non-members, to head there. They they will thank me later.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. OLEKANMA EKELEME, for being part of the show and for clearing the air on Icsan 2022 Governance Practitioners Day. This is where we wrap it up. We invite you to join us on Corporate Governance Platform next week, same station, same time. I remain Tunde Odeyemi. Keep spreading the gospel of corporate governance. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, Icsan, the hub of governance professionals.